Hey everyone, welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers. I'm here with my buddy, if I can point, Retro Rich, and just wanted to say, those of you who are watching this on the replay and clicked on the button to come over from the Evercade effect over here, are going to talk about the Classic Game Fest 2022 and how I met Warren Davis and all that good stuff. We're going to go into more geeky details, and if you aren't watching this on the replay and you happen to watch this first and you haven't watched that, be sure to go to my channel. So, yeah, welcome to Karg!
Yeah, let's go.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all
retro gamers!
All right.
Up.
And I also want to remind everyone, too, that this podcast exists just so me and Rich can stay in touch and talk to each other every couple of weeks and talk about all retro gaming goodness and, all that.
What's going on, Crow? Nice.
Oh, yeah, call in. Oh, eat hubbies.
What's going on? Uh-oh. There it is. Right away.
Well, hold on a second. Oh, I got to scroll up past the music. All right. Okay. We have some choices.
You have choices.
We have choices this time. Yeah. And if Pete
Nice.
is one, so we have three choices. We can do the crazy one, the crazier one, or the super crazy one.
I said the super crazy one. Let's go.
Super crazy one. All right, here you go, everyone. So that was it sped up, and then it was slowed down and reversed back to back. And I've got Well, you guys gave me the idea. Actually, if anything, it's Crow's fault because he was like, "Hey, you should have a few of them ready." So I've got two more. I've got two more.
Bacon ice cream 9. Nice.
Bacon
Chipmunk edition. That's the best.
There may be one of those. There may be one of those too. Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
goodness.
I
That's
have
awesome.
to mention, my wife got me this cool Level Up Pac-Man drink from some store. It just says energy drink. I don't know if it's good or if it tastes like poo, but at least I get to keep the can. So
That's cool. That's very cool.
kind of fruity. Yeah.
He said
figured
that
that would be-
sarcastically.
Oh man.
Yeah, you'll
Oh
see.
yes.
You'll see.
Good. I'm hoping that Pete
It's
didn't see
gonna
that on the replay, but no, I still got two other ones. Yeah, I had a little bit of downtime. I'm like, yeah, let me throw this together. So, I'm dying to talk about the classic Game Fest, but let me show you just real quick who I ran into and what I got them to say.
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade effect.
Nice. That's very cool.
Yeah, because I just realized that, like, I know I texted that to you, so I cleaned up the audio so it's not as loud. I don't know what that clink thing at the end is, but it's kind of funny. I had to kind of keep it in there because if I took it out, that it cuts off from him real quick. But
Got it. I mean, it's good that it's that clear, even with the background noise, because I'm sure that place was hecka loud.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, I want to get more into the. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, okay. I'm dying to tell the story again on my primary channel. I was representing Evercade there. Wore my actually. So okay, so let me take a step back. So it was a Sunday, and we're just kind of hanging out, and my wife was paying attention. It was like local Austin online newspaper. She's like, "Hey, there's the Classic Game Fest 2022, and it's only for just Sunday, it's only $20, and it's in downtown Austin." And she's like, "Do you want to go with me?" It's like, "No." I was like, "Of course." I always said I would do anything my wife wants to do. Also, but I mean, especially video game related. So which is great because
Yeah.
it's funny. She posted to her Facebook like things you do to support your spouse. But no, but in all seriousness, she said that like I want to support you or your hobby, and I really really appreciate that. So we bought the tickets online, went down there, and I'm glad we bought them online because in person they were like stupid, like more expensive, like 2 or 3 times the price. So we go in there, And once you find the parking, because downtown Austin is one of those places of like never-ending construction, and Google Maps can't pick that up. And then they close off an entrance, so you get in there, $8 to park, not really a big deal. And then you go in, it's like, oh, there's like lots of people and stuff. So you'll see in my video. So here I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to show as many visuals. It's funny. You'll see that on my main channel next week. But like Game Over Games was there, Game Exchange was there, and it's interesting. Like the whole front row, kid you not, they have a lot of like non-working consoles. Like actually, even like from Intellivisions to 2600s to 5200s to Sega Genesises, like $20 each. You know, they even had like a bunch of Wii's. They had like a whole box of like Wii Fit games. So the funny thing is, because I was thinking about like, and the good thing is, since I know I can go back there anytime, but I'm like, it'd be cool to maybe have like as a showpiece, like a non-working Intellivision or 2600, but it's bad timing. I don't know where to put it yet. You know, at some point I'm going to have to do something like, to make a long story short, because my brother-in-law is moving, he gave us some extra shelves, and I think there's some extra shelves I can move from my daughter's room and put some stuff in there. But yeah, but still, it's cool to see a bunch of non-working consoles. They had just had anything from like Funko Pops to all the stuff. So I was totally overwhelmed, like just so overwhelmed that it's kind of like you don't even really know what you want or what you want to get. Like my wife was like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "I'll know when I see it." You know, it's kind of like you really enjoy the experience. They had like a little arcade, but everybody was always on machines. But so I didn't bother with that. One thing I was kind of interested in, like at the Game Exchange, like they had like a Game Boy Light. It was the red one for like $40, but that's like $10 over what it normally costs. Here's the thing, like I don't really need that because I have the SP, but it's not the game. No, I'm sorry, it's the Game Boy Pocket, not the Light. The Light is the Japanese version that has the backlight. Like if it was that, like just to be able to play Tetris and chunk in a couple AA batteries, like I might have gotten that. But I was like, you know. And I pawed through different games, and there really wasn't. I'm like, I could get this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be getting the XP. I'm going to be getting a better handheld soon. So, lots of good things. So the funny thing is, my wife actually bought something before me, if you can believe it. So they had this one table where it was like either $2 a sticker or 6 stickers for $10, and there were all these kind of like cool like pop culture stickers and memes and stuff you saw on the internet. So like my wife got she got like 6 of them, for her laptop, and
that's awesome.
So and we ended up finding like actually one of those ended up finding like a Hello Kitty, like the Melody Bunny characters and all that. So anyways, so telling me that I ordered. So we're going around now to tie in some backstory. I don't know if any of y'all who are watching, like I'm sure you're familiar with the YouTuber EMC Mur.
Yep.
He goes out and buys and collects stuff. Well, one of his last videos, he went out to I forget what convention it was, and Warren Davis was there. And what's funny is he didn't know it. He saw like a Commodore 64 version of Qbert. I think it was like 10 or 20, but it was pretty cheap. And like you overhear some other guys saying like, "Dude, Warren Davis is here. You should go to get it signed." And so he went and got it signed. And
nice.
So there's a reason why I'm saying that. And then there are things like you even see like TurboGrafx 16 controllers, little odds and ends. But and this is where things kind of came surreal, because I'm walking down like out of the corner of my eye. I just kind of see him, like, because I'd seen that video soon. I just kind of saw that. I saw he had some books, and it was a surreal moment. Really hit me because you watch all this stuff, like you see other YouTubers and people doing it, but now it's like actually there, which is weird. Like seeing all this stuff and seeing him, and so then I just kind of like it's kind of funny. Like my wife kind of let me do my thing, but she went and walked away, which is probably better, because she's like, yeah, this is gonna be super geeky, cringeworthy, whatever. I don't want any part of it. Cool. I'm like, that's fine. Let me let me do my thing. So some other guys getting like a poster like signed and all that, and I was kind of like casually walking up and all that. But it's a surreal moment. I'm like, well, what do I say? How do I break the ice? And I kind of wait my turn, and I'm kind of like, hey, Warren David, I kind of forget what I said. Like, hey, I said like I might have said like, hey, it's good to see you here. And then it's straight. So it's strange because like, okay, like somebody like Patrick Stewart that I super idolize or something else. Hey, Snake Eater. I wonder how starstruck I really would be, or like Picard, because it was just, I kind of became a little bit like, because it's like you just don't get to see like creators of games out there, right? Like Qbert's a cool game. Yes, it's maybe not like Miss Pac-Man or something, but it's still cool to see people like that, or like a Warshaw or somebody like like in the industry. So I kind of had this like starstruck moment, and I was just like, hey, and the funny thing, I was like, hey, and I kind of felt dumb, but I was trying to I was like, hey, I'm like, you probably don't remember the YouTuber EMC Mur, and I kind of explained the whole episode. And it's like, oh, I see lots of people. And I'm like, and then I just said, hey, and he also had like the Replicade set up of the Cubert. So it was a neat little thing. And I said, hey, I know, like, back in, and I learned this from Retro Ralph. So this is how I think I got it. So thank you, Ralph, if you're watching. I said, hey, I'd heard back in the day that there was like a knocker in the back of the Cubert, that when Cubert would fall off, and when you turn it on, like he talks to you, and he's like, yes, And I said, hey, I have my own YouTube channel, and I pointed to my shirt, and I said, hey, I don't know if you've heard of the Evercade. He's like, no. I'm like, hey, it's this cool modern retro, because I'm like, I didn't want to go like into super geeky things, and I'm like, it's this modern retro console that's powered by emulation that plays cards to change in and out. He's like, oh yeah, cool. So because of me, he knows about the Evercade, and so you have one of those moments where it's like when you see celebrities and people, like you don't want to be insistent, but like I strongly believe like in the power of asking, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
I'm like, the worst thing he just tells me is no, and I'm cool about it, and I walk away. So, and I also have to give a shout out to Tim from Tiny Tim's Arcade, because if you see like his beginning, he has what's his name from NBA Jam, the Boom Shakalaka guy, he has it like, Tim, what is this? Podcast YouTube, so that kind of gave me the idea. I'm like, why not? So I just said, hey, I said, do you mind? I said, can I record you saying, I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect? And he kind of like smiled, and then he was also wearing a mask. So because I wasn't sure, and that's what also kind of made it a little bit more difficult, because so he stepped back and he took off his mask, because I was thinking like, I'm not gonna ask this guy to take off his mask, but if he's gonna record it, he's gonna sound like So he does that. And then the funniest thing, he seemed to be really excited, because he could tell I was just as excited to meet, my sincerity of being excited came through. And he's like, what's, and he kind of looked at me, he's like, what's my line again? And that's how I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he's gonna do it. And
that's
so,
awesome.
and then I repeated it to him, and he's like, whenever you're ready. So then and keep in mind, like, I don't have it, so I held it perfectly still.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go. And then he did it, and then afterwards I'm like, thank you. I'm like, thank you so much. This is awesome. It was so good to meet you. And then I walked away. And then at that point, nothing else. Like, it was worth it to go to the convention just for that. Like, nothing else mattered there. And then at the end, I'll kind of back up. So then, being indecisive of stuff, always like T-shirts. And I had a T-shirt thing, and I wanted to get one that I hadn't seen. I'm like, it was between Zelda or Mario. I'm like, Zelda, and it has like the official Nintendo seal, so it's a real shirt. And it's actually pretty good quality. So. I knew I was walking away from something, because you never know what you want to get. And it was just, dude, I was so overwhelmed to the point, I mean, I'm totally being honest, where after we were there for 2 hours and then we had to get back because my wife had to cook dinner, my brother-in-law and all that stuff, I had so much fun, but then I wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave without getting something. And then here's the kicker. Even after I got this, I'm like, let me look at those non-working consoles one more time, but I don't want to be there for 8 hours. I want my wife to know, hey, if we do this, I'm not going to drive her crazy. So it's like, I needed to get away. I was overwhelmed. It was a sensory overload, but I couldn't get away. I'm like, hey, we got to get out of here. Oh, one last thing to share from that, and then curious about the audience. So I forget on one of the two Evercat, we always seem to talk about Tiger handhelds, or that's come up. And so they've had those. And then I, talked about the pinball one, so one dude at a booth had it. And here's the other kind of crappy thing, is that because there were like a lot more stores and whatnot, they were not as willing to negotiate. Like, their prices were pretty much set. And so they had the version of pinball. Yeah, it was a little bit faded blue, but I'm like, okay, this looks good. I turn it over, pop off the cover, and the battery contacts are like rusted to hell. So I'm like, can I clean this up with isopropyl alcohol or not? And then it's just like, so the funny thing is, I'm looking at the battery cover, and then I see the vendor walks up, and I say, hey, and just the way, I don't know, just the way he looked like he could have walked out of Middle Earth is probably the best way. I knew the answer, kind of a little bit grungy, maybe.
Yeah.
I knew the answer was going to be no, but I had to ask this question. I said, has this been tested? Is it working? He was like, no, I don't know. And so I'm like, well, what are you wanting for it? $15. Now, keep in mind, off of eBay, you could get one that's tested and working for that price. Maybe 15 plus ship, and in a little bit better condition. So I'm like, that was the thing. I don't want to pay eBay prices, and maybe I lowballed them. I'm like, I tried to use like an EMC mirror move. I'm like, I'll take a chance on it for $5. Oh no, I couldn't go that low. And as because for me, it was just like, not that $15 is a lot of money, but I don't want to pay for something that's broken and have that disappointment. At least if it's $5, and then that's, sure. I don't know. What I mean? Then you're like, I just it was more like not really feeling like a fool, but
No, I
But
get
yeah.
you though. I mean,
Oh.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would go for anything over 10 on that. Like if it
Yeah.
was something I really liked,
See,
like I really felt nostalgia for, like I owned it or whatever. Like, all right, maybe I'll take a chance on it, but I don't know.
See, that's kind of what I was looking for. I was hoping maybe they would have some old Game & Watches, or really what I wanted to find were some old Game Boys with like LCDs that didn't work. Like for under like 20 bucks. That was the other ridiculous thing. Like the one vendor, he had like a Qbert watch, $150. Like he had like some of like the older working things, but they were all over $100. And he had a DMG Game Boy that was like in good condition, not a box, but like $275. And I'm like, there was nothing special about it. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. But there was a Lynx there. There was a Lynx there in the wild, and
Nice.
it was like in the. I don't know if I'm hoping it was in the box, like $239, and you'll see my
that's still high though.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I was looking at a bundle the other day on eBay. It was 175, had 8 games and a working Lynx.
Yeah.
I'm like, and the bag, and I'm like, well,
that's what I'm talking about.
Just the thing? No way.
But dude, what was so like? And you'll see in the video, because I didn't realize this until I watched it back. Pretty good Shark Week. But they had a Neo Geo Pocket, not a Neo Geo Color, and I could tell the difference because the color one, like the one you have, is blue, and the other one is gray. They just had like the loose console. They want $160 for it. Like, dude, unmodified. I mean, come on.
Those are pretty pricey though, because they're not as prevalent. Like,
true.
Seeing a Neo Geo Pocket in the wild, you don't see those in the wild. I mean, you really don't see the games.
No.
But most of the games you can pick up for a song. Like, they're not terrible. I think 80% of the library is 40 or less.
Yeah.
It's like Game Gear almost. But then there's like 3 or 4 of them that are just out of control. False was like, we looked it up the other day, 2 months ago or whatever. Was it like $300 or something for a copy of False, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten hands on it yet. I don't know where I put it. It wasn't where I thought it was in a drawer somewhere, because I had everything in a drawer, but I must have moved it, and I'm like, I don't know where it went.
Dude, that could be traded in for a lot of Master System and Game Gear games at your local.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting on that. Actually, like more news on that later, but I'm waiting on getting more things because of 2 other things. Dude. One of them is not having room.
Gotcha. But
that's
Super
cool, man.
Like Super Nintendo's $180, and like they had like the mini consoles, like the mini Nintendo console, and they're like wrapped up in plastic. It was like, but they wanted like $67, but there weren't any cords or anything. So and you can't just plug in USB. So you're
you need to get the proprietary thing.
Like, I could get the brick and the cable, or like I was almost tempted to get a PlayStation Mini, $40, but
that's
again,
not bad.
Yeah,
because those things they got that new stuff. That you got those new sticks that you can make to put in there.
Yeah.
And that's getting red hot in the collector space now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I lost mine in the flood, so.
It was one of those things. I was tempted, and then when we came back, of course, it was gone. I'm like, should I? But again, when it's just by itself, I'm like, and it was
for $40. I mean, someone's gonna grab that right away.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's like. You know what? As you're talking, I mean, live eBaying will be happening.
I know on Amazon they're $80, but that's complete in the box though with everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just be, I don't care, because
I mean, it's from a game exchange. I don't know. Maybe I'm like lazy. I'm like, I don't know if I want to have to source other stuff. But yeah, that was kind of the only other. Well, see, that was the thing, and I didn't see another one there. But I was like, had it been like $20 insta buy, I don't know. It's kind of funny if it was like less, but it was through game exchange. So, I don't. For me, that's almost one of those things where I'd rather trade in some Game Boy Advance games. I don't, almost rather like trade in some stuff for it.
It's not bad. Not bad. I mean, a couple of them are a day left. They're all around $40-$50 on eBay.
On eBay, yeah. See, that's not too much.
I mean, that's not bad. There are some that there's some of them are trying to get you, like, oh, here's all the stuff with the stick and all that stuff. They're trying to get $160 for it. But
Yeah, because there's that one guy. No, so I'll tell you what. Hold on a second. I don't know. Like Mad Little. Hold on a second. Mad Little Pixel put out a. Let me go to it here, and I can remember the guy's name. So yeah, he put out an like an updated video on a 64K hack build. Magnus RC. Okay. Yeah. This guy's
Snake Eater bought his for $40. I bought mine. It was at, I don't know where it was. Maybe it was Amazon. Had one of those crazy sales. I think it was either $30 or $40 when I got mine.
But you got yours
on sale. It was like, just give it to me. But I bought one of the sticks. So
yeah, because this dude, he puts builds up.
Yeah,
and so that's from MLPs. So it pretty much has like a good flavor of most of the things that you would want to get. So I'm like, if I did want to go down the route of emulation, yeah, I would take a pre-built thing, plug it in. Yeah. But it's just,
yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, but if it was like complete in box, so yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. I guess I'm kind of finicky where I like things at a certain price. I mean, I guess other people,
yeah,
other people do too. Or if it was complete, I don't care about the box. At least give me the controllers.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the controllers with it, or give me that maybe, and or the power brick. Then maybe I might.
Yeah. Well, because then sourcing them other places gets to be a little difficult sometimes. But
yeah,
I mean, all of this isn't bad. Even just buy it now that I'm looking at. I better stop. I'm gonna hit a button, and that's not gonna be good. So
that's the problem. It's like, yeah, you're there, but you're probably like looking at eBay for basically the same price. You can get it complete. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Woot.
He's probably editing something. So that's usually what he's doing.
Hey, I know you're okay. Phoenix, I know you're in the background, but watch the screen for 2 seconds because you're here with us in spirit, my friend.
Yeah, your boy Phoenix.
I forgot that I had that.
That's it. That's awesome. So you know what? Not to dip into Evercast territory though, but you mentioned the man of the Cubert because he did that awesome intro for you or whatever.
Yes.
So I did a little digging, and what I found, if I could find it on my thing here. There. Can I do that? Chrome tab? Oh, is it only my Chrome tabs? That's not cool. All right, hold on a second. Give me a second here.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Stand by.
Please stand.
Stand by.
Please stand by.
I think we're good now. Chrome tab. There it is. Boom. So that's an interesting list. It's an interesting list right there.
Yeah.
Like that could happen. I'm just saying.
Gottlieb, yeah.
Yeah.
We should dive more into that on
Saturday. He's like, you can talk about the Evercast. I'm here. Yeah. It was weird. They named him all sorts of nonsense things. Like one of them was like meth, and the other was crack. It's like, what is this?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, Metal Jesus did a video on that, and I remember he said he almost didn't want to just because of the names.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you feel dirty.
Yeah,
like ordering this stick is like.
But it was great though. It was pure PlayStation games, and you could go ahead and pop in the stick, and he was just kind of illustrate like what Sony could have done, they could have sold, and I'm like, yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I mean, this is not bad at all. Like,
no,
obviously you don't have to do like the whole list or whatever. Because what is that? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 games. So you figure like 6 or 7 out of this list, right? In this side, right? But then look at all these unreleased prototypes.
That's what I was gonna say. We got to include a few of those.
So you get the big ones. You get Reactor, you get Cubert, you get Krull, and then I don't know, pick another 1 or 2 off the list, and then you go for some of these unreleased things. because that's the good thing about Evercade, right? There's your discovery right there. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Dude, if they ever do, great thing is if they did come out with that Gottlieb collection, then like Hubert would be on the front.
Yeah,
like, that'd be cool. Then,
of course, oh my god, yeah, you'd have like the whole front cover like this, like a front cover of these things, right? And then you have like all of the Hubert level with Hubert on top, and then you could have like some of the other characters jumping around on it.
See, then I would track Warren Davis and say, "Hey, remember me from last time? Hey, will you sign this?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I showed you what an Evercade was. Now we can play your games on the Evercade.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It would be cool. I'm just saying, like it's not a bad thing. That might actually have to show back up on Saturday.
Yes.
Get some more opinions about like possible things. That'd be cool. That'd be neat. Because but what would you do? Were they all? Most of these were all arcade games, so you could get like, it would be a purple, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be down with that.
I think it'd be definitely, and hopefully some of those prototypes are, and then that would fit into the Evercade economy of weird, cool games.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. So, do you have anything else for us out of the Classic Game Fest?
So the only other thing, and that I kind of left off in my video that I kind of realized, well, I did see a lot of these cool things, and it was fun pawing through bins, which things are cheap in the bins anyways. But I guess maybe, and I was kind of questioning, I'm like, maybe I am that content with the Evercade that I didn't feel like I had to like buy anything because stuff is just really expensive and difficult to like hook up, and it's almost like it's cool seeing all the games, but it's like the other retro stuff, like the shirts and things that you see there that you like, you know what I mean? Like the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's it's kind of like, it's like going garage sale hunting or anything else. But if you see something awesome, boom, you're gonna get it. But
yeah.
One other quick thing too that I get almost finding something that I wanted is one table. So my wife said, "Hey, aren't there those patches you can earn for games?" I'm like, "Ooh, Activision patches," which I did see them, but it was just it was for Dragster.
All right.
And I'm not a huge fan. Not that. I think it was like $20, but had that had been a Pitfall, a Hero, like if it was almost any other game that was nostalgic, I would have got. You know what I mean? I would have gotten it. But I'm like, I never really played that game growing up. Not really, But then it might have been $50. But yeah. I'm like, if it was any type of meaningful Activision game there. But no, I think that kind of sums up. But yeah, go to conventions, they're fun.
Nice.
I was going to say, I do have another topic from our list, unless I don't want to be greedy. Unless you wanted to pick one, or if the audience wants to pick one, I do have another.
No, yeah, I mean, we can do whatever, because the only things that I have on my side was talking about the stuff I played a little bit on vacation, and then because there was retro gaming action while I was out, and then I wanted to address something that was directly retro related that we don't get to talk about on places like the Evercast because it has nothing to do with an Evercade, but I did want to talk about it a little because it actually just happened today.
Ooh, okay, okay.
So yes, you want to do a topic real quick and then we can get
it's more of it's kind of, well, it's one of the it's more of an experiment, and it's something that I wanted to bring up, and we'll see when it comes out. So, and this kind of revolves around like the new like mini console and all that. We always talk about all the time. Well, like we love we love Konami and like all the other like AAA retro companies. Yeah. We like the Evercade because you have like your off the wall games you never heard of before.
Yeah.
So, and I always kind of say, hey, if I did want to play the Marios and the Sonics and all that, I could load it up in emulation. Well, in July, the PS4 had a sale, and so for me, pretty much like for digital collections, like anything that's like when it comes to be under $10, then I'm game. Like I'm sure like at some point the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection, it might be a year or one, then I'm game. So that Sega, it's like that Sega pack. It's normally like like $30 for 50 games, which Yeah, and
Oh, well, like the Genesis collection.
Yeah. I mean, and it's weird because it's cool that it's. I guess if you have the VR goggles, but like you put in the carts and they have the room and all that. But it's like anybody that'll make easy access simulation, I can play on a console.
Is there a new one on PS4?
No.
Okay, because I have a Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection on PS3, and I have had both that one and the European version, which is instead of Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection, it was just Ultimate Mega Drive collection.
Oh yeah. No, this is that Sega Classics. You can get it on the Switch, and there's physical, there's virtual copies.
Yeah,
but it's one of those ones that's like $30, and I think more for the physical. No, I was just gonna say, what if there was a release those kind of games were cheaper. Making a joke as Blaze is doing that. Anyways, so some of because I'm like, hey, at least I know I want to play Streets of Rage 2. They got like Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. They got like your Fantasy Stars and all that stuff. So I and again, it was like on sale for $8.99. So I'm like, kind of an experiment. I'm like, and I've kind of been playing it like on the couch and between me and my wife are watching stuff, and kind of an experiment. Like, hey, being that I have easy access to these games, even though the mini console is different games, am I still really going to want that? Or kind of like, do you really need to actually have the mini console to play those games? Or you're like, you know what? That's cool. That sits on a shelf, but I'm fine playing these games on Steam or free emulation, And then for $3.99, which is normally $20, they had the Konami Arcade Collection, which gives you like all the versions of Gradius.
Oh wow!
Which is pretty cool. Twin B, and what sold me on it. I forgot. There's an arcade version of Castlevania called like Haunted Mansion or something, which is incredibly hard. So I played some of those on MAME. So I picked that up and kind of the same thing. So kind of more an experiment. I'll see later on if that kind of feels fulfilled, because sometimes when you have too much emulation or games that you've already played, you're like, you know what? I have fond memories of Mario, but how many more times do I need to still, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that.
Snake Hitter took the words right out of my mouth. That is good. So here's the thing with me and the retro stuff, right? Now, obviously, re-releases of retro games, I am pretty much married to the Evercade, right? Because that's where I'm gonna get all of my, like retro re-releases now, because I get them on physical and they're very well curated. They feel great when I play them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? But the only other thing that would get me on any other side is when they put out those collections and then they have trophy lists either per game or for the entire collection that as a platinum, right? Because I'm a Sony guy. So because I will tell you that when I got Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection, I got it for the fact that it had a platinum trophy, and I played the wheels off of games I would never play because I could get a trophy, and then it would wind up going towards the platinum. And I don't want to tell you how much I played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, that's on there. Oh, wow.
It was on there, and it was the last gold trophy I needed to get on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis, and it's really difficult.
I bet, man.
Like, it's very, very difficult. I forget exactly what it was. I mean, I'm going to wind up going on PlayStation Trophy.
But see, that's a good reason to play, because sometimes I find that, like, if I overthink what game to play too much, then I'm like, I don't want to play anything. But if I just, like, throw in an Evercade cart, or if I just, like, go to my PS4, I'm like, oh, let me just do Miss Pac-Man, or a game that's right there, then I kind of get into it. So it's almost, and that's the problem, like the Netflix effect, we've talked about when you have too many choices of the games, be like, I'm not in the, but if you just have to like not think and pick something and go with it, and then that gets you in the, at least, can get you in the mood at least.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say real quick about the phone number. People, please call in, because Rigatoni messaged me on Discord. So he said that like on Tuesdays is like, I guess is his night where he's playing like D&D, which is like he's joined like a local campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he said depending how long it goes, it may be at the end. But looks like we'll more see him on the replays. But Rigatoni, if you're watching this on the replay, you don't have to call in while we're live. You can call in any other time, and Rich will play it, and we'll see it.
Yes, so 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And then he does like Magic the Gathering tournaments on Monday. I'm like, man, two things. I remember playing that, back in the day, both like paper games there.
That's awesome. So, all right, where is it? I really don't like the way that they did the
I think Crow's trying to blame us for why he's not playing the Gremlin Collection. You don't need an excuse, dude.
Right.
The Crow Continuverse. I like that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
At
the same time. Yeah, it's too many options.
It could be.
Dude, just like when I was there, it's like you just get overwhelmed. Like what do you even want to buy? It's like almost anything you can,
Where?
What? And what scares me too is when you see stuff that doesn't have prices on it, you're like, oh, they want too much.
Oh, there it is. So yeah, the Mean Bean Machine trophy is you have to complete the game.
Wow.
You have to beat Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. You have to play every single level, and it goes all the way through the difficulties. So you have to like get to the end, which is crazy. Oh, nice. Very cool. I'm all about that. That's really awesome.
Heck yeah. So,
yeah. Any new Crow project, I'm in.
Totally.
So
what's this new thing that you said you wanted to talk about that there's no other good platform but here? I think we should talk.
So the news thing. Okay, cool.
Thing, yeah.
So I'm about to share my Twitter feed real quick because one of the other things that I like to talk about, because I have one on pre-order and I do not have it yet, is my Polymega.
I knew it. As soon as you said that.
And for months they haven't said anything at all. They've been pretty like non-specific as to like any of their direct relations, and they have been getting a little bit of pushback, I will say, from the community. They are not they're not in many people's good graces right now, because a lot of people have been waiting for a long time, right? And some of these people have pre-ordered from the original. I think they did some kind of crowdfunding thing. They either did a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or something, like whatever it is. There was pre-orders for a reduced price. And some of those people from 2018, 2019 are still waiting for their consoles.
Wow.
So I get it. I mean, I get it. It's a long time. It's a long time to be waiting. And they know they exist because they're in the hands of people like Pete. Pete was a day oneer. He finally got his. What's his? Oh my goodness. Vic Ireland. Victor Lucas from the Electric Playground. He has one. And then he actually flew out to California and interviewed the CEO of Polymega. And then right behind him was a whole big shelf full of stuff that they were getting from the warehouse. So presumably more people are getting their stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
So here, let's go to the share. And they start out with, hey, everyone, here's a brief update. We hope is informative. First, our factory lead times increased this quarter due to one of our critical suppliers' inability to meet lead time estimates they previously provided us. So this is not great news to start out the update. They move on to say what was 12 to 16 weeks before increased to 40 plus weeks. That's a yikes. Wow. This is impacting shipment times. Obviously, if you can't get the parts or your build kits in any kind of order, it's going to affect shipping. So we're working on we're working to place a larger than needed order from them so that the usage doesn't continue into next year. So that's a good thing that they're actually going to. So they're putting more skin in the game to get more product, even though they don't need it. They're getting it so they can build the things to then ship the units out, which is good. We're working on delivery time estimates now, but rest assured, if you got a pre-order, you'll get your system and the order you received as soon as we have it on hand, which is good because obviously you want to fulfill your pre-orders, please. We'll be stopping pre-orders sometime soon so we can fill our backlog. We don't have a particular date set, but we keep you informed. So, that's something to watch for those that have pre-orders. So when they finally cut it off, they know, hey, they've reached the limit of which they just over-ordered. So at least, they've people have ordered enough where, okay, they're going to stop allocation. So wherever your queue, place in line is on the queue, you're going to get it, hopefully soon. Because as soon as they cut off, it means they probably finalized how many units they've over-ordered. So then they're actually going to start shipping.
Gotcha. So if you wondered why I was making those expressions, okay,
Yeah.
I ask a question to the to our viewers, and don't cheat by going to eBay. I went ahead and I looked up Polymega on eBay. How much do y'all think they're going for? How much? Just
I mean, I've looked to try to skip the line. I've found them for between $7 and $8.50.
that would be pretty cheap, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
They're going that high?
let me see if it'll. Can I override your share?
You can override me, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Get out of here.
It's sealed.
Oh man,
Dude, sealed with the NES module, 1700, and these fools.
$3 grand.
Yeah,
Wow,
isn't that ridiculous? But look, 19 people are watching.
that is nuts.
Rare. How many?
That's nuts.
What feedback does this fool? Okay, 168.
Wow.
I know. I mean, okay, and it's on the floor of their house, so it looks like they probably have it. But look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's on hand. There's no, that's crazy. Yeah. Crow makes a good point. What about sold listings? He's like, no way, keep it. Yeah, absolutely, man. If I had one of those, there's no way I'd sell it.
Oh, you know
No
what?
way.
It didn't. Hold on. Because I actually clicked on it and I thought it was showing. There we go. I thought it was actually. There we go. I thought it was actually showing this. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, 168 feedback, and you can. I mean, it looks like It looks like they legit have it, right? Because it's on the cover to their house.
Yep. That's a seal Polymega.
Hey, you can make him an offer.
$3 grand.
19 watchers though. 19
make
watchers.
An offer. Here's my offer. I mean, there's no way.
Hey, you could pay it off in 6 months.
Oh yeah. Get that nice credit.
Yeah, you're probably paying, but whew. And then on top of that, yeah, shipping is what, $50. But really, that's funny though. Like just give free shipping anywhere in the US if you're charging that much.
Crow's a mercenary. If he had one, he'd sell it.
Yes. Yeah, so that's why I was making
Get
this.
that $3 grand in your pocket, Crow.
Dude, yeah, that's why I was making those faces. I'm like, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, what, 500-800? I'm like, $3 grand. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, snake eater 500. Yeah. That's why I'm like, that would be a good deal. But I guess that's how rare they are because those are the only 2 eBay listings that I saw right now. So
yeah, so that's wild though. That's super wild. And like I said, I popped my head in there. I mean, sold. Getting you back to what Crow was saying, like sold listings. I've seen when they do auctions, not the buy it now craziness. I've seen them fair value go for around $800. It's between 750, 750, 800 consistently. Like people are buying them at that level, which is double what it's worth. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's not terrible, but I'm not that desperate to.
No.
I also don't have that much. I don't have it. I don't think any of us have that cash flow anymore. To be honest,
no, that's some rich
not
kid
right
just
now.
money to throw. Just
yeah.
to throw around.
So anyway, getting back to this, because there is something at the end that is like, oh man. So they say that the modules have begun shipment to the facilities in Germany as of last week, and expect shipment updates soon. So I guess those are the ones that for like the people that pre-ordered that still have yet to receive it from those whatchamacallit, the crowdfunding things. Anyone who has missing modules from the first shipment can expect delivery in late August and early September. So those are for the additional modules, the NES, the Genesis, and all that stuff, which is not bad.
Does that mean you might get this at the end of this year?
Well, some people might get them. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm at the end of that 40-week period if I'm lucky. I think because my pre-order went through. I had a pre-order at Walmart and it got canceled last year because all that thing fell through, and then there was the war and whatever, and Walmart just said we're done with Play Magi. We're not even going to carry it, and they canceled on my behalf. I didn't want them to, but they canceled it anyway. So then I had to re-pre-order. But I did that by way of asking for a holiday gift, and that wish was granted. So they gave me the holiday gift, which was awesome. My wife is amazing. But that put me back in the queue, like further back. So, whatever. I get it when I get it, but it's also like I understand people getting a little steamed under the collar there. But
Do you think you'll get it sometime in 2023? Is that
I hope so.
by the end?
I mean, you know what? I really hope so. I really hope so. It says, our CS team is back and responding to emails to service requests shortly. Thank you for the patience, as some changes occurred on the team. So they might have like had a little bit of a shuffle. Times are getting rough everywhere. Maybe they had some people leave. Maybe they had to have some people leave. You know what I mean? With these companies that are startups, it's rough. It's rough out there. And I mean, you try to do all this stuff during the pandemic as well. And again, we've seen and heard many stories of teams make it and not make it, and sometimes half make it, right? And Play Magi is in the half make it category right now. So we get it. They say we appreciate the patience that you've shown. We also understand that you're waiting on important information. So keep you apprised as they learn new things. I will also do my best to answer technical questions, but I may direct you to customer service, which is fine, because they apparently their customer service team is back. So hey, hooray, for sure. And then they get to this. The team is also making big progress on new projects. We can't wait to share the latest with you. Here's a sneak peek at the new feature coming to Polymega soon: Saturn MPEG. And what is that feature? Of course, it's Lunar Silver Star Story complete on the Sega Saturn. There's Alex and Null. And there's Lucia hanging out, or Luna. Amazing stuff there. Because I was just like,
Do you think, are they going to, because I know that they have that they were talking about like having a store where you could, buy the, you could like buy the digital version. Do you think they're doing like some new overhauled translated version of like all the Lunars or something, because it's Lunar complete.
What the feature means is there was, like on the Sega CD, there was a method of which there was decoding a video from the disc, and it was special. It wasn't part of the game engine, right? So if you have a game engine emulator for Sega CD, that's all well and good, but if you don't have the codec that decodes the MPEG video, the CD video that was on a Sega CD game, you couldn't see the FMVs. They wouldn't play.
Oh.
So what they're saying is, for the Saturn used a different MPEG decoder. They have successfully, hopefully, I mean, it looks like it's done. They have successfully made that feature available to Polymega, and they are going to bundle that into a forthcoming firmware update. So that way, when you stick Lunar Silver Star complete in a Saturn, it will play the FMVs.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense than what I thought. No, but that's cool. That's something special, because I know there's a lot of people like yourself that are buying this to be like essentially just call it a Saturn box,
Yeah, no, I mean, and 100%. And I don't know who this guy is. This guy, Rich, says, thanks for the update. The news of Saturn MPEG. And as a matter of fact, I said, the Saturn Lunar games are a huge part of the reason I have one of these pre-ordered, which is correct. They're almost the entire reason I have it pre-ordered, because there is a game in Japan that was on Sega Saturn, and it's the only way to play that particular Lunar game. And it was pretty cool, because right after, almost directly after, actually, I tweeted that reply. The Polymega team replied right back and said, we look forward to the moment you can play on Polymega. Thanks for the support. So somebody's alive there. They read it and they replied. So
that's awesome. So
it's good. That's
very good. So
patience as the mile is long, right? I mean, I'm waiting for a lot of stuff. I'm waiting for the Pi readers. I'm waiting for my Polymega. I'm waiting for the thing that should not be named. I'm waiting for a lot of stuff. You know
what the next step that they need to do, which would be great in a combination with this, because I know like you can put translation patches, but it's a manual process, right? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be cool, like any Japanese game that you put in, if it said, "Hey, we've detected this is a Japanese region. Would you like us to patch it?"
Yeah.
And then they could build in the repositories, and it would automatically go ahead, download it would do that before, like do that for you behind the scenes.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be such an undertaking, but the good thing is, inside of the current firmware, they allow for fan translation patches, so you can drop the TXT file in, and then load the ROM from the disk with the TXT.
Yeah.
And
So
it'll do that automatically for you, which is awesome.
Well, that's what I mean. I wouldn't be. I don't know if it's much of an under, because then they would just have to put in a repository. They would just do the same thing, so you wouldn't have.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would I guess search it out, but then it's like, all right, well, that gets a little weird. I know it's all fan translation, so I'm sure the fans will be like, okay, but some people get a little weird about it, right? It's just like, I don't want you hosting the file. You can link to it, and then it's like all muddy because you have to download it.
There's that pain. Well, at least you can just just at least slap it on there, because the Japanese versions of a lot of these games are a heck of a lot cheaper for that reason.
Yep. And I had all of them in my hand. In fact, I did videos on the box openings for all of the Saturn Lunar games when I received my first set, and I have to buy another one. Damn it. Stupid.
But dude, that's still awesome news. So I will say, at least, even though it sucks that you have to wait, at least they're keeping the lines of communication open. Yeah, and
that's the thing. And they've been silent for a while. But I figured, this just happened. And I was like, man, we're going to do card tonight. I mean, there's no way I can't. I don't want to talk about it. If it wasn't here, I was going to do a video tomorrow on the main channel. Because I just want the news to start getting out there, that they're actually doing something, which is good. And if they go another 6 months and there's some more problems or whatever, I mean, we live in, everything gets crushed. That's the state of being in 2022 is if you own a business and it has to make electronics, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Because everyone's just getting it every which way.
So what's interesting? I know that the Mister right now, they have like Saturn cores that are like in beta, and not that stuff is cheap either, because now it's a lot more expensive. But it's it's kind of funny. What'll happen first? Will you get your Polymega, or will the prices of Mister come?
I mean, either way. I mean, I already have people, that are in our YouTube friends group even that are like, well, Saturn emulation on a computer is here, so you could just do all of the things you want to do right now. And I'm like, but I just don't want to.
It's
I want a console. I want I want a box. I want to put the game in the box, and I want to have this is my Saturn. I know it's emulation. I know it's not like a real one, but you know what's cool? After I'm done with my Saturn game, I can take it out and put a PlayStation game in there and play it too.
Exactly. You want the experience. You know what though?
I do.
That said, see, I wonder if the Polymega was almost a bit too ambitious. I bet you if somebody right now I know actually if they came out with a Saturn FPGA for like $200, that thing would sell like hotcakes. If that was its only thing.
I know my computer is a box, bro, but it's not. It's not the same.
Yeah,
it just isn't.
I hear you.
Windows is funky. It does all sorts of weird stuff. I can't, because I only have one laptop, right? It's the laptop I'm doing all this stuff on, and I've tried to do it, and I've got a good processor on this thing. I got a Ryzen 5000 series. What is it? It's like their mid-range. It's kind of like a Core i5 or 7, right? It's good. It's a good machine, and I can do all the things I need to do to stream, right? But if I try to play something and stream, even that game's not necessarily optimized, but I did a demo of Into the Eternal a year ago or something like that. Anytime I open Steam or something like that, I try to run the game and capture to stream, it gets chunkified, and I'm like, well, I don't like that. Because if I do all of the gaming, right, I want to capture it. I want to share it with you guys. And that's just that's just the way it is. But if there was some other box that just so happened to do that, I got my hands on it before the Polymega. I don't know, maybe.
It's almost like what you would need is a modded refurbished Saturn with an HDMI out.
Yeah, they make all that stuff.
I think they have that, and I think they have it too, where you can still play real games, or you could even also install a disc emulator.
Yeah, you can get the thing that you drop in where the CD reader is, and then it emulates the CD reader, only it's a flash drive, and then you can reload your ROMs. on there. You know.
Yeah, there's a few of them like the Terra Onion and the whatever else, and so
yeah, separate PC to stream. Yeah, if I had one, then that'd be cool. I don't know, whatever.
But I hear you though. You want you want
I know. I get
real
it.
console. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Shame the Analog Duo isn't announced yet. I mean, so here's the thing. The reason why Analog hasn't released any information about the announcement of the Duo is because they know that they can't get it done right now. Like, I mean, are you going to stand in line, behind Microsoft, who's in the front of the line, and then Sony and Nintendo, and then everybody else is making hardware, Samsung, Apple, all those people, and then get in line behind all the other people that are already in line, Play Magi and all that stuff, to get your stuff fabbed over in an area that's so constrained that you're not going to see the outside of your output for another year? Probably not. So why bother announcing it, right? That's the thing. That's where we are right now, in that. And then you only get like the wee lucky few, right? The Blazes of the world that wrote their business plan 2 years before they started manufacturing and had all those deals ready.
Thank you,
and
Andrew.
that's how yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Andrew and the team over there, they knew what to do and how to get it done and got in there. That's the other thing people need to remember. They got in there right before the gate closed behind them. So they're already in that zone. So everybody that had the gate close in front of them ran into the gate or has already seen it close and they went, oh, well, we'll just wait till the gate opens again.
Yeah, well, not only think about that too from a business perspective. While like the Analog Duo is really neat, there's good, they'll sell. That's more of a niche item. Like they'll sell a ton more pockets, for sure over that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's they have to choose between. Plus, they haven't even gotten out the other modules. The Analog Pocket is kind of this unfinished project. They don't have the other cores for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, but I bet you if somebody went to, I think it's Kevtris actually. That's the guy over at Analog. He's the lead engineer, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, if you went to set him down and be like, oh, well, why don't you have all these cores? He's going to tell you, well, where am I going to get them? Like, where am I going to get them fabbed? I can't get them fabbed. So it's, so again, it's everywhere, all of this stuff. So we just got to ride the wave, but it'll be there. Yeah, I'm just happy though that we have people. Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I'm just happy that we have Blaze really right now because it's getting us through. We got some cool stuff. We got new hardware on the horizon still from them, and they're gonna build themselves a nice little ecosystem by the end of this. And the other underdog that I will say that I'm also thankful for is Atari, because they got their piece of hardware out there too, and they pivoted away from pushing the hardware and they're back to doing software, and the software is going to be multi-platform. You know what? Smart. I think that's a smart move for them because they already have a limited supply of VCSs. They know that if they try to start manufacturing more, they're going to run into the same gate that we just talked about. So they're putting their software out everywhere.
No, you're bringing a great point because
revenue, right?
Atari's realized like, hey, if you just want to play our games and play the recharge games, you can buy any of the modern consoles and we'll put them on there. So they made it accessible. Then they say, hey, for you super Atari enthusiasts, if you want more of the individual experience, we have this specialized console, but you can play everything in the console in other places. But if you want this extra cool experience, here it is. Actually, they were smart to capture both of those markets, like you said. Unlike the console that we won't mention, they didn't do that. So they had nothing versus Atari. They were smart.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I'm thankful for it because I get to play, which is good, and they do exclusive stuff. And on the VCS side, they started thinking about deployment. It's like, oh, do we really have to day and date with every console, or can we for a month put it on VCS exclusive, and give something a little bit to the fans and then continue? Yes, is the answer.
I'm going to throw a super wild prediction out there. Then this would be incredible if Atari did this right after what we talked about. So, as we all know, like the handheld market is huge.
Yeah.
So what if they made a handheld VCS that looked like a Lynx?
Oh man, I don't know.
Wouldn't that
You know what? It would.
You're like, I've got 2 on pre-order right now.
Yeah, right. But you know what? You know what though? I think the product might actually exist, and you know what it's called?
What?
The Evercade EXP.
True.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's more powerful than the original handheld. It's on par with the VS, which we don't know the ceiling of the VS's capabilities yet. And I guarantee you the EXP would be able to play those recharge games. No question.
Yeah.
And if the EXP can play the recharge games, why would Atari need to build hardware? It's already created.
Yeah, that's true.
Put out Atari Recharge Collection 1 and put out the recharge games on the arcade.
So since we did bring up the Evercade, maybe we could talk more on the Saturday. So here's the other thing too, because all what it comes down to is, so technically, for specific games, the Evercade could support something like N64, but the catch to it is that that's the one system you can't just make one emulator. Like, it has to be tweaked, because if you think about it, like the GameCube, it could do 64 emulation with like those Zelda promo consoles and all.
Yep.
And a matter of fact, that same coder who did that, like the Wii, all those but they were highly programmed, and that was like huge criticism when Nintendo went online with the Switch, that the Wii and the Wii U were better, and then Nintendo had to go back and do tweaking. So it could be done right, but Blaze would have to acquire the rights to a game that they know everyone would love, and because someone's going to have to spend that time and money to get it to work. And
so the problem, here's my my counter to them even putting in the effort to doing the Nintendo 64 is the problem with doing N64 games is every single one of the games that you would have in a top 10 list, they're all heavily licensed. They're already like in the top 5 games, in my opinion, it'd be GoldenEye, and then the rest of the 4 of them are all Nintendo licensed titles. We're never gonna get them. So it's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Mario 64, and like Mario Kart.
What about Sin and Punishment? That rail shooter.
Oh yeah, Sin and Punishment that'd be cool.
Like something like that, because that never made it outside. I mean, I think that's still a good get, but it would have to be something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but you wouldn't emulate an entire console just for one game.
Exactly.
You want to bring more, but then what are you gonna like? Some of those other ones, anything that's outside, like a third-party license game that isn't tied to an additional license, you might be able to find a gem in there. I don't know though. I mean,
to your point, it'd have to.
A lot of those games were rough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no! What keeps happening? He said he had to glue his D-pad back.
He glued his D-pad back together. So, speaking of that, on the trip.
What retro games were you playing?
Yeah, so I played a whole bunch of Evercade, that's for sure, because that's all I had. But I dived into Indie Heroes 1 a bunch. I played through and beat Quest Arrest on Indie Heroes 1. That game, not bad. I actually didn't think that I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but it's like if someone made like Police Quest and mixed it with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because it's like the battle system from Pokemon almost, with a like your top down motion and all that kind of stuff, but the storyline is kind of like an irreverent detective story, which is exactly what Police Quest is. So I got a kick out of it, and there's cool little like nods and like cool little like secrets and stuff that you can get. I was having a good time with that.
It is. You just kind of wish it was like at least as long as Anguna. You know what I mean? Like
it's short. You can finish the game in. I mean, once, because I played myself into a corner twice before I realized that I should just learn the save button again, and then started actually save, like really kind of save scumming for real, and then I beat it in like a half hour. So
hey, just a quick, and then I want to hear more about this. So I was going to ask Nick Eater, why don't you call Evercade? Well, I guess he voided his warranty. So he used Crow's disassembly video and
nice.
another guy's video, and then Crow said, yeah, you probably found the other guy's video, and he tried to use it as a guide. Lots of isopropyl. So that's
man.
That's
Well,
that's
yeah, 'cause you got to
hilarious.
get that glue off, right?
Yeah.
So
But I think
yeah.
the XP has screw. I think it has screws, so if you do need to take it apart, hopefully it should be much easier.
Yeah.
So what
I
else
mean,
did you play? So that's awesome. So that's cool. You had fun with the Indie Heroes.
Yeah, and like I said, I played Quest Arrest. I played a lot of Foxyland. We talked a little bit about that on the Evercast.
Yes,
I got to that boss fight and I just couldn't beat him. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing wrong? Like, there's something wrong. There's something happening.
I'll have to help you one of these nights.
Yeah, exactly. So then I bounced around. Some of the old faves. I played Super Homebrew War. Because I heard that there's no real ending when you play a single player. You just kept going, and I'm like, well, I wonder if you just keep going some more. Does it actually end? And just someone just hasn't found it yet. But I can tell you, I played 30 matches in a row of Super Homebrew War, won every match, and it still kept going. And I was like, well, after 30, there can't be an end.
Yeah, you're like,
No,
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So I consider myself, I completed Super Homebrew War.
Right.
And then I started playing some Doodle World because you gotta always be training on Doodle World.
It ends at 31.
It ends at 31.
That's great.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I swear though, if that was actually true and it ended at 31, then I'm gonna put, because I save state every match at the end of every other match. I'd go back and be like, fine.
I was gonna say tonight after the shot, you're like before bed. You're like, I got one more match.
It's like, that's it. I'm gonna
For the
beat
fun
it.
of it, you should do that before Saturday, just to.
Just to see. So
Yes.
that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, and Doodle World's a great game. I love playing that thing, and I'm getting like exceptionally good at the first 3 levels of that game, and then for whatever reason, I hit the desert, and going into the last castle. I don't know what it is, but I still have yet to actually complete the game without doing serious save scumming to get there. So I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss there.
I was gonna say, are you at a point where you can speed run it and be competitive with the times that are there? Or
So if there was a speed run competition for the first 2 levels of the game, I'd be on world record pace. Because I watched the guy that has the world record right now on speedrun.com for Doodle World and Kids Mode, and I am within tenths of a second of his time. So I know I could shave that in the first
some
2
games I know it's more prevalent to games like Mario Kart, but I know some games they might have the fastest time for a level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could probably submit and just be like, hey,
Just do it in competition mode.
Yeah, if I edge him out, in
Yeah.
the first stage or whatever, I'd be like, here's my first stage. I got you by point, 0.025 or whatever.
Pick competition mode and choose one of the more busier backgrounds. So
Yeah.
Use you Photoshop, and then you're good.
Exactly. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome to be beat on an Evercade, because especially with speedruns, because there's always going to be at least 1 or 2 frames of delay, which normally you wouldn't care, but
Yeah.
sometimes in a speedrun that could make that would be awesome to beat him on an Evercade.
Oh man, I'd love it. I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, go, dude. Go for the level.
That's why I'm playing Doodle World actually, because it's it'd be fun, because it's a fun game, and to be honest, Kids Mode is not inordinately difficult. It's just I haven't learned the patterns for the last 2 stages, so that's why I'm iffy on it. But I'll get there. It's just a matter of getting there over and over again. I didn't even just learn it. But yeah. It's like it's like I didn't think there would be an ending to Dinoland, but there is. Yeah. So
Just one more level.
Just one more level. So, but anyway, it's wild. So yeah. I mean, other than that though, I did like bounce around and play some stuff. I actually, ironically enough, I brought Intellivision 1 and 2 with me and then never put them in. And I was just like, I was just too busy playing Indie Heroes.
You know, I've had that happen too before. Or you make the mistake of bringing Pico 1 with other stuff, and then Pico 1 is the only one that stays in there. You're like, I didn't even need to bring any other cards.
Yeah, no, and I brought Pico as well. Like, so I had of the carts that are in my thing here. Is my travel case.
I love that. That is so cool.
Oh, and somebody actually spotted this little NES controller thing, right?
Oh, that's super neat. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's a case for the NES Classic.
You know what? Maybe because it looks like I thought maybe that was like a repurposed like first aid kit or something.
Yeah,
that makes it even cooler.
So then when you open it, these are where the controllers are supposed to go. So you just stick the Evercade up here, and then you've got the things where you can put your carts. So what came with me was Indie Heroes, which is not in there because it's right here. I brought Morph Cat 1, Intellivision 1 and 2, and Pico. And I was like, well, you don't need anything else after that. Dude,
I've been enjoying. I know we're getting to Evercast territory, but so we're towards the end, wrapping up. We're allowed to.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm not kidding. Like, I have really been enjoying Morph Cat like so much. Like to the night, I went back, played Renovation, but then I still went back to the Micro Mage's second quest. That's the only the thing I have to beat. So it's like Bobble, yeah, that's that and the Seagull. Both of those are 30-minute experiences, but they're fun though. I mean, on its own. And then the Bat Puncher. That's maybe again that's another short experience, but it's still fun. But like having Micro Mages on there. That kind of reminds me of just like all those older like indie games I used to play on Steam. That's like that's the best way that I can
it definitely has a feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is neat too on the Evercade being able to use turbo. That is like really.
That's true.
And you can also do a charge it, but yeah, and that's why when it comes down to games, and I always say that for me it's about quality instead of quantity. So if you have something where there's just a couple of games, if they're all solid, or if there's like 2 games that are solid and some other games, and so with that said, we'll find out. I think all like Indie Heroes 2 needs to make it let's say like a top tier cart. Give us something like a Cathedral, give us one top tier indie game that we don't know about that's on there, and then and then now that's in competition with everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Sneak Eater went back to play first Jalico. That is a good card. Yeah, I like that one as well.
Has anybody put in both Jalicos yet to see if it unlocks City Nights, the arcade?
Ooh.
I'm hoping it. Do it right now! No.
Yeah, why not, right? I have my VS hooked up.
If you want to. Because I saw, like, Hancock covered it, a few other, like, the YouTubers, like MLP covered it, Riggs covered it. No one's done, so I don't know if it's not a thing, but, because we know both of those games has you like unlock this like cool like shooter, but
yeah.
I didn't know if you put in like both Jalicos, if that would unlock.
Ooh.
Yeah, you get like those bigger cards.
That's cool. It's really neat.
It kind of reminds me of like when a new expansion of Magic the Gathering would come out. If you'd pre-order, they would give you like those not for retail. Like.
Oh yeah. I used to have the they put it in I think it was a Wizard magazine way back in the day. They had what the heck was it? Yeah, they had the oversized cards. But all right.
Snake Eater wants to see it. Da-da-da.
Jalico 1-1.
Keep fingers crossed. Right. Oh, Chris says he'll get it when it's released and then play it 3 months later. Man,
that's awesome. All right, so I'm going. No, I don't need the stinger. We'll just do fades. Boom. Duran.
Ooh.
Okay. Jalico Collection 1 has 10 games. So we're looking for 18 is the list.
Where can I make you full? Let's see. Can I?
That's 10.
No, that won't do it. That's 10.
Oh, 18. That's it.
Yeah.
No unlocks.
That
That is a wah-wah.
Dang it.
You got 64th Street, though. That's
Yeah, yeah. I was hoping we'd get the arcade
like
version of City
64th Street.
Connection.
Yeah, that would be cool, right? I like how like now it's on this one. Oh wait, let me go back.
Yeah.
Single can
I couldn't see it. Yeah.
Katie says that the new cartridges are for use with all Evercade consoles.
Woohoo.
That's not on any of the other ones.
No.
Huh.
That's something new. But that would have been neat because I'm like, surely if they have the license for the, why didn't they get the one for the arcade? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask Sean that on the next Evercast. He's
Yeah,
like,
why didn't you get a little unlock action? I mean, it's Jalico. I mean, it's probably the answer is going to be it's licensing. So they told us no. So I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, we'll give you guys the inferior version, not the whatever. I don't know. It's like,
So I mean,
yeah, Snake Eater said it's
it didn't even have to be City Connection either. It could have just been some random game, But that's weird. But yeah, so we got. That's also weird that we got EDF arcade and EDF console.
Dude, that's what I was exactly.
Yeah,
I knew there was a reason why I was suspicious. I'm like, yeah,
right.
come
Because
on.
you get City Connection, NES. Where's the City Connection? They have to say. They have to
That's
say
why.
that because the Namcos won't work on the VS. It's possible future cards may not work on the original. Yes, you're correct. Yes. But it's interesting though that actually says it now, but that gives more credence to the fact that there will be a cart that will not work in the original handheld. For sure. What's up,
Oh, look
Pete?
who decided to show up at the end.
Yeah. He's like, hey, punks. Yeah, we're just finding out you can't get a cool little game when you put Jalico and Jalico in. Is that the first one? Is that the first one that if you had two, you put
No.
in and you didn't get a thing?
Data East, the Data East arcade and
Data
console.
East and Data
Yeah,
East. Would either. Yeah.
it's the second one. Yeah, I was kind of
All
disappointed.
right.
Oh well.
Sad face. 3 Gug shows on at the same time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's Tuesday night. So when we're out of here, I don't know. It ship you off to NLG, I guess. Because what's the other Gug show that's on? It's NLG, us, and then who else? Is Papa Pete doing something? He does something on Tuesday nights. Sometimes
You'd
he
know
does
better than
old guys and old games. So, yeah, Papa Pete. All right, yeah. See, I knew. Yeah. Yeah, two Galgos.
Yes.
Yeah,
You get a cool. It looks like it's a light gun game that they've adapted where you can use a controller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
neat. Loving it.
Yes.
So
I like
Yeah,
it towards the end. Towards the end, more people come in here. It's like that always happens on Evercast too. It's like, well, let's wrap
yeah,
up.
we're about to be out, and everyone's like, "Hey, man, what's up?" Yeah, we were just talking about all sorts of stuff. We talked a little bit about the trip over to what was it? The classic Game Fest.
Yep.
Ed was doing all sorts of cool stuff. We
Here, I'll play
talked
this.
a little bit about. Oh yeah, here we go.
Here, I'll play. Here, Pete. I'm gonna play this special just for you since you missed it. Check this out. Look who I met at the Classic Game Convention 2022.
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Yeah. I gotta just say that, and you know what? I forgot to say every single time I see that clip because I think I think I said like I was by the food court and it kind of had this weird like burnt like Chef Boyardee food court type smell. And every time I play it, I could hear that because I remember when I had to endure that to talk to Warren Davis, which was worth it. It's just weird that I have that smell from the food court associated with it.
That's awesome.
Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna put Jellico Arcade over here because I'm gonna wind up
Oh,
putting it in.
Be prepared for the 999 on Evercast. You are not prepared.
You definitely are prepared for the RetroKillDashNine effect. Yeah, he is Mr. Qbert. And then we got into it talking about Gottlieb, because Gottlieb is the license holder for Qbert. I'm like, whoa, what about Gottlieb collection?
Yeah.
And they have like all sorts of, they have like 8 or 9 unreleased prototype arcade games. And I'm like, man, you have Gottlieb Arcade 1, and then you could have, Qbert and a couple other games, and then like 2 or 3 of the unreleased ones. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, we could talk about that on Saturday though too.
Yeah.
So you could probably go make a sandwich by the time it finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one was pretty long. With the one with the reverse. Yeah, the reverse and the slow was like that was epic. That was pretty epic. But anyway, I think
that's 19 seconds.
19. That is pretty long.
Because normally
it's almost as long as the Gug intro.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's it, right? I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a good time. We had a good hangout. Thanks everyone for coming on in and hanging with us. It's always good to just chill and talk and all sorts of cool stuff. Hopefully we'll have some new stuff next time. I gotta go through the back channels and find some people to tap on the shoulder and say, hey, you gotta come over here and hang out with us. Oh man, anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ian, hopefully the rest of your work day will be something cool. I can't believe it's like 3 o'clock in the morning over there. It's crazy. So, all right, guys. So until next time, we will catch you next time, right?
Yep. We created content. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See you guys.